Hi, I'm Tony Fleming. Welcome to Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey, talk about a cool arrival. Just got here, fresh and ready. We just finished the restoration on it. 67 Plymouth GTX Convertible. And you know, this type body style, along with like the Chevelles and GTOs of this era, right at the tail end of the 67 run, you know, in 68, almost everybody changed their body style of their cars. And these cars have this great looking, very classic kind of square style. Even the Lincoln Continental, which kind of started in the early 60s, gave you this great shape. This car here, some of the particulars, you know, the GTX came with the 440 Super Commando engine. And I got to tell you what, even if you're not a Chrysler guy, these cars, they were fast and they were feared. You know, the nice thing about Chryslers is when you paint them, they're painted all over, underneath, trunks, engine compartments, things like that. That was the detail that made these cars just a little bit nicer than maybe some of the others. And some of the fine touches in here would be, you know, we talk about this 680 unit production of this vehicle. You know, it's 680 units. Chrysler built several million vehicles that year. And if there's only 680 of these built, I'm sure over the years some were crashed, some were rusted out, some were stolen, things like that. What's that leave? 400, 500? How many of them had the engines blown up in the last 40 or 50 years? So what's that leave? 150 matching numbers GTX convertibles, and this makes the car really, really rare. So we spent a little money on it, doing the right things. You know, a lot of stuff for these cars too, they don't reproduce because there were so few of them. You know, for Chevelles and GTOs and Roadrunners and things like that, where they built, you know, 100,000 of those cars, you know, it's worth it for somebody to tool up and build all those pieces. For the GTX and the GTX convertibles, where there's, you know, virtually none built, nobody can make any money tooling up and making all the hand little pieces. So we've had to really search hard to find the things to restore. So let's come back in here for a second. I want to show you some of the detail in here. You got your right air cleaner in here, HP manifolds. Justin, come around the side over here. I'd like to show this. You got your HP manifolds right there. We got our power brakes here. Really nice. The wipers work. The washers work. It's got the big radiator in it. The horns work. The turn signals work. The turn signal cancellation works. You know, when you're buying a car from us here, it's a little different than just buying a car from your neighbor or off of eBay or online or whatever, because by the time our vision is that when you go ahead and get a car from us, now keep in mind, free and closed shipping is included in the price of the car. The idea here is that we go through the car's front to back, brakes, hoses, belts, lights, signals, all the safety stuff, making sure the seat belts are bolted in correctly. And the details are done. And do you get a perfect car? No, because there's no such thing as a perfect car, but you get an exceptional car. And the idea is when that big tractor trailer pulls up in front of your house, right? And the guy lowers down that big gate, you hear your car fire up, and out backs of your car, all your neighbors are standing around looking. Wow, man, Jimmy, that is one cool car. And you know what you do? You grab whoever it is you want to go, because the car has gas in it, it's got a tag on the back, and you go for a ride. You don't have to take it to the gas station, you don't have to go get it inspected, you don't have to do any of those things. It's designed for you just to get in and go. And if you can get a collector car like this, where there might be just a couple hundred left, you know, these things keep appreciating, you know, 10% a year. Let's take a peek inside for a second. Great style here too. Great scoops, nicely done. Check out this interior. The interior is all brand new. Kind of this nice motif that came from the factory. New carpets, foams, seat covers, window cranks, lenses, door panels. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I'd say some of the things that we haven't done yet, maybe because we didn't have time, and we haven't found anything even better, might be this horn trim ring right here. So we're in the process of maybe this last little piece of the car to finish it up, but I didn't want to keep the video waiting any longer. Original AM radio. Original quarter panels on the car. The VIN numbers are still on the panels back there. The trans is matching numbers. Even stuff like this is what I'm talking about. See how the console lights light up? We try to make sure that all of that little stuff worked there. Dash is detailed. The car's showing 28,009 original miles. We were told it's original. I sent this visor out to be restitched because they don't make a new one. That should be back tomorrow, and that's it. But that's the level of detail that I'm trying to tell you here, is that, you know, like I say, it's not perfect, but it's really, really nice. And it's really, really cool when you pull up in this car and in the sinister black paint with the GTX callouts, and everybody knows what a GTX is, man. You know, we talk about how great they look like, but at the end of the day, Mopars have a sound that no other car makes. How about I fire it up for you so you can hear what it sounds like? Let me show you a couple small things that a lot of people do incorrectly that I learned about along the way while I was restoring this car. Let's check them out in back. For instance, this right here. These are the correct GTX tips. A lot of people think they're supposed to come straight out. They're actually angled out and they're correctly done that way. New bumpers, we had those re-chromed. New taillight bezels. This panel back here alone, just this piece right here, with the taillights, lenses and everything, was $1,300. So you can just imagine the amount of money spent to restore this car. I did go a little bit farther. I wanted the car to be able to be driven, so we put red lines on the car, but we used redline radials. And the redline radials really improved the ride by quite a bit, but these are brand new Magnum 500 wheels, brand new TTI exhaust all the way underneath. And as you look underneath, everything's been detailed, painted, 8 3/4 got posi in there. It's just nicely done. Correct chalk marks, big leaf springs. One of the only things that wasn't correct for the car, and we do have a spare tire by the way for this car, was this carpet kit in the car. And I gotta be honest with you, it looked really nice that I thought that we would leave it in here. Nice decals, correct jacking stickers, things like that. Just nicely done. This piece here, I know I keep talking about it because it was so expensive, but it really does make a big difference on this car because it's quite a mammoth piece and ties up the whole rear end. So you count the tips, the bumper, and this whole tail panel, and you're talking, it was a little over a couple $1,000 just to finish the rear end of the car. Brand new boot, new black top, black power convertible top, okay? Little stuff like the window cranks we had to order to try to find. It's got the seat belts in it, which is really nice. A lot of times these cars didn't have seat belts. Trim inside is nice. It's a cool car. Hey, what I wanted to do is I wanted to spend a second, you know, people can paint cars and most people don't realize that with paint work, it's all tied up actually in the prep work, not actually in the painting itself. Because with painting, you know, once it's painted, it can be wet sanded and blocked nice and flat and things like that, but it's underneath the metal, especially a black car, and especially these older cars with these really long panels. They have to be worked nicely, they have to be beautifully prepared, they can't be full of mud because there's no way to sand out all those ripples, and this car just looks great. And the one thing I wanted to show you was that you can't see in pictures, but you could definitely see in video, is the quality of paint. You know, a picture can hide a bad paint, but a video can't. I just wanted you guys to be able to see. I like to hold this up to the paint so you can read that. You can almost read that virtually word for word in there. And that's really cool. Great paint on this car. Anyway, this is kind of cool. This is actually the original 67 owner's manual. It's actually in really good shape. The condition's exceptional. And all the tabs are still in it. The tear out sheets are still in it. Here's the breakdown of the GTX Convertible, done by Govier. Came with a 323, the 440 of course. Broken down for all the features and options in that car, the bucket seats, the console. Actually a pretty expensive car. This is the punch card from Chrysler on this car. Very nice piece. Just another breakdown done by another company. Originally before we got it. Looked like it was nice, but it was just kind of old. It was really actually in great shape, but it was just, it had never been restored. Never. It was all original. It just really needed to be done. This was kind of cool. This is original 67 Belvedere brochure. And here it is showing the redline tires with the Magnum 500, so we did the right thing. Console with the buckets, the radio that we looked at. And this is high-tech brochure right here. The regular Belvedere, GTX Convertible. Only 680 people checked off the box to order this car, which makes that just amazing to me. You know, in closing up this car here, this GTX Convertible, you know, the documentation we have, where they have the original build sheet. We have the fender tag, Galen Govier documentation showing this car to be in this registry and the real deal. You know, and more importantly, like this is a 2-owner car believed to be original miles 28,009. I don't have proof of that. I'm just going by what the last owner said, but I have to believe the last owner because he's owned it for the last 28 years. So almost 30 years of ownership for this car, and it's been a local car between these two guys, and that's pretty spectacular. We're super proud to present this. You know, it's one of 680 built, 67 GTX Convertible. I don't know if there's, you know, 50 left or 100 left, but there can't be many, and these cars will continue to appreciate, and it's a great, great buy. We're Fleming's Ultimate Garage. We're super proud to present this car. Call us 301-816-1000, and we'll tell you all about it.